Remember coming into college as a freshman, excited to fit in, to make USC our own? A space for people from everywhere in all walks of life, but in a place with people so similar to us yet so different. How does one simply belong? Here on our podcast, To Belong, we discuss just that. What does acceptance and community mean to college students who are forging their identities just as they learn them? Today, the topic is the Cardinal Divas of SC. And if you don't know who the Cardinal Divas are, then I don't know. You've been living under a rock because they have been everywhere. They are the first Majorette team out of PWI. And if you don't know what Majorette dance is, it is a dance style that is very unique. It combines multiple different styles of dance, jazz, marching, stunting, and it has a lot of energetic and fast, clean movements rooted from the Southern universities of United States beginning in the 1960s. Today we have with us Princess Lang herself, founder and captain of the Cardinal Divas, joining us, along with Jai Robinson, USC Kaufman dance student and choreographer, who has been along the journey with them. So, to start off, Princess Lang, hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. For one, we just wanted to say we're so excited to have you here today. Being the voice of Black women and dancers everywhere is truly an inspiration. You inspired me to just be better and, just go after what I want and not just think about it, but be about it. I think that's so important. I know that, this process of pioneering the Cardinal Divas, it took a minute, more than 2-3 months. What was the vision behind the Cardinal Divas, and what really led to that decision of making this team, and what was that process like?
Yeah, for sure. So my freshman year of college, we were all at home due to COVID. And so I took it upon myself to at least look at all of the dance teams and cheerleading teams that they had here at USC, because one of my goals was to get back into athletics once I got to college. And so looking into that, I was like, okay, let's see. So I see all the teams, but I realized that none of them fit who I am as a dancer or as an individual. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I didn't want to change who I was just to join a team. Mm-hmm. And I was already doing majorette dancing before I came to college, and I didn't really want to stop. And so I was talking to my mom, and I was like, Ma, I want to keep doing majorette. USC doesn't have a majorette team, obviously, because it's a PWI. Yeah. But I also don't just want to say, fine, I'll join these teams that I don't really want to join, because I'll have to change the way I'm dressing, the way that I have to have my hair, the way that I'm dancing. And it just didn't feel right to do that. And so I was like, I want to make a majorette team. But girl, you ain't even been on campus yet. Like, relax.
Yes, hey, that's cool.
But my mom, she was like, girl, you better make that team.
Hello?
If that's what you want to do.
Yep.
You better do it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she really built my confidence up to even do this, because I thought, like, girl.
Shout out mama.
Relax. Yes, shout out my mama. But yeah, and so I waited until we got back on campus, and I started to get like logistic things that I could handle being at home. So I was just thinking of how I could start it, what organizations I would have to go through, who I would have to go through, athletic directors that I would need to talk to, that I would need to have some contact with. And so once I got on campus, I started working with athletics again. And then I started reaching out to athletic directors and introducing the idea to them and seeing if they were willing and if they were open to the idea and if USC would be open. And I talked to one athletic director in particular, and he loved the idea. He didn't even know what a major team was, but he was like, yes, you need to do this. Like, this is great. Like, this is beautiful. Like, And so he gave me all the steps that I needed to complete. And I had to create a student organization, go through that entire process, wait until that application even opened up, fill out that entire application by myself. It was very stressful. But once I did that, it was like, whew, I can breathe.
It was mostly, you wanted to create this space, for dance and movement and something that you wanted to get back into, but it kind of became a little bit more than that. Dug deeper into like representation and expression, building new spaces and inclusive spaces. So did you realize that that was the impact that it was going to have before you in that process of making it?
No, not in its entirety. So going into it, I realized that we had all these diversity and inclusion talkbacks and meetings and courses, but I didn't see any action behind those meetings. Like, where are the Black professors? Where are we getting all of these diversity and inclusion opportunities? And I was like, since I don't see it from the people that are doing it, I'm just going to do it myself. And so I knew that if I felt like this, somebody else on campus is going to feel like this. So I felt like this is a great way for us to continue to create these spaces that we talk about. But I did not at all imagine that it would go to the platform that it did and how big it has gotten. And it's been crazy, but
yes, I remember seeing you, and I actually remember seeing you post the auditions and stuff, and I was like, oh, that would be so cool, like I should try out. I was like, but I've never done major dance.
I was so like, I don't remember seeing the video.
I was like, I probably should not. Like, I don't have a background in major dance, but I do love it. I love the style of dance. It's so beautiful. Another thing I wanted to know is, what are some things that you now have to be mindful of when you're in this realm, in this spotlight, when you're talking about topics like this? Like, what do you try to be mindful of?
One thing that I already knew growing up, like with the career path that I wanted to take, I wanted to be involved in entertainment and be able to be a voice for the Black community and continue that with my future. And so I knew that for myself, I wasn't going to change anything about me. I was still going to be a Black girl with curly hair, and I was still going to be that Black girl that was going to tell you exactly how she felt no matter what. And so that's really one thing that I remember, because you know, some people are like, oh, you can't really say much, or you can't do this now, and da-da-da-da. But me, myself, and I'm going to make sure that I continue to stand on the same beliefs that I came into. I don't want to have to change myself to fit in a circumstance or to make others happy because of what I want to do. And so it's really just being able to say, I'm going to continue to stay confident in myself, no matter how big or how popular this may get. It's not going to change me as an individual or whatever I still stand for.
Yeah, I think that society has this way of like, certain people, they can't handle that, you know. I think that
they lose their voice in the process. And I don't ever want to do that.
Because there's a greater message beyond just what you see, I guess. For those of you who don't know, Princess Lang posted a tweet September 18th about her starting the first ever majorette team here at a PWI. This received a lot of controversy. Individuals from the majorette community, individuals from historically Black colleges and universities felt as though their culture was being stolen or diluted in this newfound space. But who gets to determine who and where and when we belong? The basic question. How did that make you feel, for one? When I started to, like, after I posted that tweet and all these retweets and likes and comments started coming in, it was so good. And then some started coming in negative, and I was like, it's okay, whatever. And then like loads and loads and loads. And it was like mostly Black people, like bringing down another Black girl. And I was just like, oh, okay. But honestly, truly, the first thing I did the next day, we had practice. And I told them like, I guess we having these little 10 seconds of fame right now, but none of that really matters. Don't don't look at these comments. Do not respond to these comments. So honestly, I just say, these people that have anything negative to say, you absolutely have the right. But genuinely, I do not care. That is not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to make other people happy. I'm here to create the space that Black people have always wanted to do. There was a time where we couldn't even go to a PWI. There was a time where we couldn't have this podcast right now. There was a time where we couldn't go into certain areas because we were all segregated. So being able to come together and being able to not only uplift a Black dance form, but also uplift it in a way that it deserves to be showcased. In a new light, in a new space. That's what it's about. It's about expanding us. And that's why I was a little confused, because I'm like, is this fear? Are we like, what what is it stimulating from?
Yeah, I think it's just because it was USC, so it already adds so much more.
Yeah,
you know,
title and the things that goes on.
Yeah. And people start to make up all of these false narratives. Like that's really where it's all coming from. People make up these false ideologies, like, oh, we're all rich. And you don't hang around black people, and you're a foreigner, and this, and I'm just like, dang, where are y'all getting this from? Because I ain't even know this. Like, I don't hang around black people. I paid a full tuition. What? Who said that? Who said? You know. So it's just like, you know, all you can really do is laugh at the comments
because only you know the truth. You know what's going on.
Exactly, but I don't have to prove that to anybody because that's not what I'm here to do. No. I'm not here to get popular off of this. I did this because black girls needed and deserve to be able to feel like they have somewhere in this big, big, big space. Wow. And that's all I care about. So the comments, they can stay commenting, but it's not really going to change anything for me.
Wow. Yeah. So these are the conversations that I love to have because as a filmmaker, I like to push stories, real authentic stories, our truth. Mm-hmm. Because I think that the media has a way of
diminishing everything,
and making stories that about us that aren't true and just what they see or what they think. Mm-hmm.
And that also goes along with my career path and goals. Because with you being a filmmaker, I want to get into film and be on television and do Broadway. And the main thing, even when I applied to this school, I said, I want to tell Black stories.
Yes.
And all of our stories aren't trials and tribulations and pain and suffering and slavery. Like we have to be able to uplift one another and be happy because Black people can be joyful. Black people can find love. Black people can just be happy. And I feel like it's just so hard to be able to see that because of what gets pushed on us in the media.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's hard for us to see ourselves when they're telling us that we should behave this way or, you know, making films and characterizing us in a certain light. And so, yeah, I love that that's what you're trying to do and, you know, pushing those stories because that's what's gonna change the course for us. And it's just like being vocal, exactly speaking out, not being silenced by it all. And actually going for it, like what you did with starting the Cardinal Divas in itself, like those are the way we're gonna change things. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Princess, for that again.
Of course.
So, y'all, welcoming to the table, we have the wonderful Jai Robinson. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How did y'all meet together? What's the story?
Princess is a musical theater major and I'm a dance major. So we're in the Kaufman building quite a lot. So I see her around there. I'm also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So we're both in the Greek life. So we kind of just knew of each other for a while. But this past year, we got really close.
Yeah.
I love that. I know that y'all were friends. Did you know that you will always be the choreographer? Like, what was that conversation like, wanting to join the Cardinal Divas? Like, what made you do that?
It was actually pretty simple. She started posting on the Cardinal Divas Instagram, and there's like auditions coming up soon. And I literally just swiped up on one of her stories. It was like, you gonna need a choreographer? Like, you need any help? She was like, yeah. So we came together and we created the audition piece, and then we went through all the audition tapes together and just kept going from there.
Wow. So what's your background with dance? Like,
I have been dancing since I was about 8 years old in the studio. I'm now a professional dancer signed with Block LA. And I'm a dance major at Kaufman. I'm in my senior year.
Wow, I love that. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you started when you were 3 and you started when you were 8. Dang. You've been along this journey as well with the skyrocket of attention. So I asked Princess how that was like for her. What has it been like for you?
I actually, I wasn't prepared for it to get as big as it got. When I first DM'd Princess asking, I just thought it was going to be like, a little student organization and we'll perform at the games. But I didn't expect the students to be so happy about what Princess created, and everybody just being so excited about it, and then it blown up like that. So I was super surprised. But I think it was amazing, all the publicity that it's got, and just the way that the students have really taken it in.
I guess I also wanted to know, what does practice look like for y'all?
Yeah, practices, they're at my apartment complex, and we just use the dance studio, and we practice really late, 10 p.m. And that's because we're all in different majors, and we all have lives. And I had a show. He had a show. Other people have work, and other people have other shows that are designated with their majors and stuff. And so 10 p.m. was the only time that worked. And so that's exactly what we did, And
everyone committed. Everybody was
committed, yes.
That's what it's about.
Exactly. And it made me so happy because I was like, this is late, but if y'all want to do it, we gonna do it. We gonna get it done. And so we meet up and we warm up, we talk a little bit. We pretty much talk while we warm up.
It's a lot of talking.
Not too much. No, but yeah, I feel like us talking really bonds us, not just us dancing together, because you can dance together, but it's really different when y'all are bonded together and you can see that on the dance floor.
Y'all be in unison, it definitely changes it.
So we make sure that we understand where everybody's coming from, and we try to meet everybody in the middle, whether that's with your training or with what you want to do with your dancing and how you want to be able to tell your story, And really, I feel like our practices are just so collaborative and so welcoming, and it's just fun, every time.
So it doesn't feel like a extra long, drawn out part of the day.
Especially, they're at 10 p.m. So it's already really late. And then people who have shows or extra rehearsals, I'm not gonna lie, myself coming, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, class in the rehearsal.
But then when we get there, the energy is always so amazing. It's always such a good time. So
that's what I'm talking about. Just coming together, people doing what they love and making magic. You've been practicing off campus, and when it comes to USC and USC helping y'all out, what are some ways that you think that USC could, better support the Cardinal Divas?
You want to start?
I guess I can. I think that USC could start with just showing support in any way. I feel like we've been backed a lot by, outside donors or our friends and our families, different companies, but USC hasn't really shown that, hey, we support this team. And we're still a student organization as of right now, but any sort of recognition at all would be nice.
Yeah.
I think USC, it's such a traditional school, and everything is so much harder to add on, because they want to keep a tradition. And I just think that USC has to really just be willing to listen, and be open to the idea and understand what this is and how it's not something that can just be switched out for something else. And Majorette, you can't compare it to any other student organization or any other team. It's its own identity, and I feel like we all have to really understand that and understand what comes with that. And we just really want to be supported and feel like we belong. We just have to continue to be willing to work with one another and push on what we want and how we want to be able to be a part of Spirit and be able to get that same level of support.
Then I have a question about that. How do y'all want the USC family to welcome y'all?
I'm gonna look at every camera possible. Get us on the field, okay? And it's not just being on the field, but being considered a Spirit team, period. And it's taken a long time to even get that in the works and get us as a recreational sport at least. And we just want to be able to have the things that a majorette team needs, being able to get the entire rows. It's just simple things like that,
Yes.
And it goes along with understanding the history, the background, and what majorette is, how they work with the band, how we would want the support of the band, how we want to dance with the band. And it's just, we need to be able to collaborate and at least get the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. USC pushes diversity and inclusion. very hard. And so I think that that's what being at USC is about, you know, is having all those spaces for everybody, you know. And so I think that it's important that, yeah, we listen to one another, we respect one another, because that is how we're going to change diversity and inclusion, not just here at USC, but in our futures and our job fields. And that's what we're being taught here. So yeah, I do believe that should be exercised in all ways. And when it comes to, you know, the whole backlash and what y'all experience, and I guess a lot of people were talking about cultural appropriation and how that may happen here.
As you bring up, you know, cultural appropriation, how am I appropriating my own culture? Majorette, you know, we do go to a PWI, but we're still Black people.
Exactly.
Majorette, yes, it was created at a HBCU, but it doesn't exist only in HBCUs. Many of our dancers were doing majorette dance when they were in middle school, high school, or even when they were younger. I participated at the majorette dances back in Buffalo, and those are not college teams. Those are high schoolers, middle schoolers. Those are little kids.
Yes.
So I don't understand how we are stealing or changing something that was made for us and by us.
Yeah.
We are just bringing it to a space that it wasn't in before.
Yeah. And I think that is, I guess that's what people, when I say fear, is I guess the fear of bringing it to this new space is like the fear of like having other people join the team, or, you know, and that would be considered cultural appropriation. People are
fearful. People are fearful that, you know, when you bring our culture into another space, that is going to be colonized or taken away. But you see right now, this is the president and the captain, and this is the choreographer. You see the team. And so why are you worried about it? It's doing great right now with these beautiful Black people.
Exactly.
Can't you just be happy
who understand the assignment?
Thank you.
Come on now.
Thank you. Yeah, and I can also talk about that. Growing up, like, I've always been hard on my Black history, and I mean all of it. Like, I used to be at home arguing with my parents on political stuff just because I could, you know, like, Black history literally has always been in my life, always. Whether I was on the tumbling floor doing gymnastics, whether I was in dance, ballet, tap, majorette, I was still going to be a Black girl in every single one of those spaces. And when it came to college, I had a couple of HBCUs on my list, but it was only a couple because my major was so specific. It wasn't at every HBCU. So I chose to come to USC for my degree. And so I knew that it was in God's plan for me to be here. And so I can't worry about what could have been or where I should have gone to dance. I can dance wherever I want to dance. And I should be able to bring that style of dance everywhere. So everybody gets to see it, live in it, and love it. Okay? Majorette dance deserves to be on a platform that contemporary jazz is on. Like, there's so many different things that we don't even know and understand about the way dance has changed as a whole. Like, jazz dance in particular came from West Africa. Many people do not know that because of what gets showcased. Y'all see people, you know, doing all these just things that aren't in the rooted movements of jazz. Majorette is from West African dance. And I feel like being able to realize where it comes from and having people know the knowledge and be able to articulate themselves through dance as well. We should be happy that we have people to do that. And we should be so grateful that people want to do that and want to be able to showcase that because the whole world deserves to know what majorette dance is.
Why put yourself in a box?
Exactly. Who wants to be in a box?
And can I add on to that? I know a lot of the backlash was talking about, you know, taking it and they get to be on these big platforms. What about the other majorette teams at the other schools? But we're not doing it as, oh, look at us, look at us, look at us. We're look at what's being done at all these other schools. Look at this style. We're not saying look at us. This should be a light on majorette dance as a whole. Overall, this is not just about the Cardinal Divas of SC. It's about all the other majorette teams that are doing the exact same thing that we're doing And before we started doing it, it's all amazing. It's all Black culture. It's all beautiful. We just had the opportunity because we go to a PWI to shed light on it, which I think we should be working together. It shouldn't be, oh, why are they doing that? Mm-hmm. No, we're helping the community.
All right.
I'm getting chills. This is amazing.
To speak on USC support for the Cardinal Divas and how far we've come with diversity and inclusion, it gets really hard, especially being in the position that I'm in. I have to be able to articulate myself in the right way, and I have to be able to stay happy and stay calm and stay grateful for every opportunity. But it's still so hard because it's like we're in 2022, and I understand this is such a traditional school, but we have to be able to understand that you have other students here, and those students deserve to feel like they have a place here. And it's just really hard to be able to bring Majorette to USC specifically because of how traditional it is with the song girls and spirit leaders. And they're like, why do you need another dance team? You know? And it's like, not why, but it's not a us question. It's more of a, why do y'all think we need another dance team? Like, what are we adding that is not already showcased right now? And so it comes to that idea, and it's like, are we scared?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going for right now? And to be able to get the backing of all of these great people and brands, and it's just crazy to be able to tell the story. And they're like, wait, why are you guys still in the same position right now? Like, what's going on? It's like, I don't have an answer for you. I can't say anything, but I still have to be grateful, and I still have to be hopeful that one day we're going to get on the field, and one day we're going to be a part of Spirit, and one day they're going to let us perform the way that we deserve to perform.
Yes.
But it's really just myself, I can't really say too much on it, but it's like the students can take it in their hands, you know, like the way that you use Twitter and Instagram, and just continue to use your voices to continue to show that you see us and that you support us and that you want us on that field just as much as we want to be on that field. And I feel like that's really how we can collaborate via the team to student ratio, by having the students not only support us in the crowds, but also support us in getting what we deserve.
Yes. Very well said. Have anything else you want to touch on when it comes to SC support?
She kind of covered it all.
I know, that was very well said. Is pretty much is how we coexist, is listening to each other, respecting one another, actually genuinely caring about other people's style and expression, and being okay with that, and loving one another. So y'all are being noticed by a lot of big names, big brands, Jennifer Hudson, ESPN, LA Times. So who's managing all of this? Who's in charge of this? Y'all are in school. Like, how is this getting done? You're doing something every week.
Yeah. I just want to say I love you, Jennifer Hudson, period. But honestly, everything was kind of just coming at me. Because my email is in my personal account. Yeah. So everybody was just emailing that. Yes. And then people started emailing the Cardinal Divas account. And so I was like, oh gosh, we got to find a manager, because I'm struggling. Okay. This is a lot. And so, I was the main person, I guess, for like all of these contacts and figuring out all these days and getting all of that together. And then we were able to get a manager as well, Yodi, and she's really just been helping us, like, with everything being written down, and like with me being able to get in contact with these people. But then she's like, okay, y'all, this is what the plan is, and da-da-da-da. So it's kind of just been like this whole circle of people just helping and guiding, because it was like a load. Yes. And it was crazy, but you know, we thrive, we live.
I think when people saw how impactful it was and how much it meant to the students, that people like, oh, I want to be involved and I want to help. Yes. So we have friends that help us. You know, we have friends that became our managers and became our treasurers and things like that to help us, you know, take care of the business side of things.
That's what I'm talking about. So I guess the last couple questions I have for y'all is, what's next for the Cardinal Divas? I know you'll probably get asked this a couple times, but what do y'all have planned? Maybe it changed.
Right now, well, USC won the game against UCLA. Woo! And so they're going to the Pac-12 championships, and I guess we are trying to go, but we're just on a hope and a prayer right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll be with y'all.
Yeah, hope and pray with us, okay?
I will.
But yeah, we're just hoping that we get to perform at basketball games and try to get through to continue on dancing. Yeah.
From the choreographer standpoint, there's going to be lots of rehearsals and training.
Putting y'all to work.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Or how do you plan to carry this on after graduation? You're a senior. You're going to be headed out soon. So, like, are y'all going to keep this going? And you're going to be in charge of it? How's this going to work?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, we're not going to stop. This is just the beginning for the Cardinal Divas. I never want to fully leave. I feel like that'd be bad on my part if I were to just up and leave and never come back again. Mm-hmm. And we have a few of our girls that are like sophomores, so they have time even after us. So putting trust in people that we trust, and making sure that we continue to build the legacy and make each and every one of us proud. And so it's really just being able to continue to bring in leaders that are not just dedicated in dancing, but also dedicated in telling the continuous stories of Black people and Black art. So.
Absolutely.
Well,
Same.
Yeah, well, me being a senior, I have hopes to, I plan to stay in the LA area as a professional dancer. So I won't be too far. So I would hope to still be the choreographer, or if not, still help in some way I can. But that also goes back to getting like USC's help and backing, to hire us after I'm gone. This can be something that we can do as our job,
Yeah. Got you. Well, I think that was my last question for you. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
If y'all want to check out the Cardinal Divas, you can definitely check out their Instagram
at Cardinal Divas
of SC. Check them out. And yes, thank you for coming to check out To Belong. Fight on.